Chapter 9. Revenge.
The men ran out of the woods screaming about wolves stalking them. All the human ears just assumed they were crazy, but one set of ears took note of what they were saying. He had finally found his wayward brother. Langston smiled in the dark of his hiding spot. "So Bourdain has made his home here," Langston growled out. "Well, he will find his death here as well." He spit up. He turned and headed up the canyon. He searched for 2 days. Although he'd smelt his brother, he had not seen him yet. He wandered around the canyon, and he finally caught his smell on a path. He began to track his brother. They had run for what seemed like hours that day. Finally, they had stopped on the top of Angel's Landing, taking in the breathtaking view. "There is something we must discuss," Bourdain said. Tiles looked over and raised an eyebrow. "There is more of us. I was exiled from my pack and wandered here. But they do not think the way we do. They run on rules and the laws of a pack that bind us from being what we could really be." Bourdain sighed heavily. Tiles looked on confused. Bourdain answered the unasked question. "I tell you this because my brother is in the canyon. I don't know why he has come, but I doubt it is a friendly visit. I have had many dreams come true, Tiles. First, I learned to break our limits, and then when I thought I would be alone for the rest of my days, I have had my best friend drop on me. You have taught me so much and shown me what our true potential can bring. I have only one dream left. I would have liked to have returned to my pack and showed them the new way," Bourdain said, "but I am an old wolf. You, I hope, will keep this dream alive for me," Bourdain added. "You act as if you will be gone soon," Tiles stated. Bourdain looked up at his friends with pained eyes, as if to say he did not know. "Langston has deep anger for me," Bourdain said. "And it is even more now, brother," came a new voice. "Hello, Langston," Bourdain said, standing, turning toward his brother. Tiles stood, and a low growl rumbled from his throat. Bourdain brought his paw up, blocking Tiles. "This is not your fight. You have nothing to do with it," Bourdain stated. Tiles took a step back, but made no move to leave. Langston snarled at Bourdain. "You killed her," he spat out. "What? What happened to Rayon?" Bourdain asked, fear washing over his face. "She fell because your poisonous words got to her. She would rather fall and die than come home with me because of you," Langston barked. "I left exactly as you commanded me to do. It sounds to me like you killed her," Bourdain said, tears rolling from his eyes. Tiles had never heard much about Bourdain's old life. He now understood why. He'd been forced from his home, his life, and his love. "Well, now you will die," Langston growled. He burst out at Bourdain, and they clashed, biting and scratching. Bourdain had a few blows, but then Langston swiped with a claw and caught Bourdain in the stomach, leaving 2 large cuts in Bourdain's midsection. Bourdain lay on the ground, panting, the blood soaking the rock. Langston walked up to him and prepared for the final blow. As he reached back, his paw was caught, and he was sent hurtling away from Bourdain. Tiles had grabbed him. Langston stood and shook his head in disgust. "You will learn a hard lesson today, boy," Langston barked at him. He burst at Tiles. They impacted, but it did not take long for Tiles to gain the upper hand and throw Langston against the same rocks. "Leave us!" Tiles growled. Langston made a move to get up and fell back. Tiles turned his attention to Bourdain. He had not even gotten a second when he heard footsteps behind him. Tiles dropped to a knee and used Langston's own momentum to hurl him again. But this time he threw him toward and over the edge. The howl was ear-shattering. Even the humans in the lodge far below heard the angry wail. Tiles picked up Bourdain and headed to a safer place for him to recover. Bourdain lay, breathing shallowly and slow, but he was alive. Tiles knew that he could not leave Langston to be found by the humans, so he went to the base of Angel's Landing, and there lay an old human man, battered and broken. Langston, as all wolves do, reverted to his human form when he died. Tiles left him. They would just think a hiker fell from Angel's Landing. He returned to Bourdain, happy to find him still alive. "Bourdain, can you hear me?" Tiles asked. "Yes, I can hear you," Bourdain said in a shallow voice. "You must leave. Langston will not stop until you are dead." Langston is dead, Tyos said with finality. Over the next few weeks, Bourdon's condition did improve, but he was still weak, so Tyos took care of him, bringing him food. They spoke of Bourdon's pack and the old laws, Tyos starting to understand that in his deepest hopes, Bourdon had always wanted to go home.